This video will illustrate how we will continue to build the spreadsheet, how we will add the other 9 months or 10 months to what we already have. Okay, so just follow along. You already have this spreadsheet for the day 1 and month 1, and now we're just going to complete that. Okay, now remember the order that we do this in is income statement, direct statement of cash flow, balance sheet, then indirect statement of cash flow. It's very important to understand that each thing has to be done completely before you go to the next one. You can't do partial. So if you're going to do the income statement, you have to do the whole income statement. If you're going to do balance sheet, whole balance sheet, etc. Okay, so let's start. And the value of this video is that it will show you that using Excel, after you get formulas to work correctly over a few cells, you can drag the rest of the information across. You do not have to keep adding information to this. Remember also the items that are shown in green are the variables, the only items that are written in. Everything else is linked to something. Okay, so let's get started. Income statement is first. So let's see what happens if we drag the entire income statement over. It's possible that we can do that. All right. So let's just do this. Remember, when it's in this configuration, it means highlighting. When it's in this configuration, it's dragging. Two totally different things. All right. So make sure that you're in the dragging configuration. So let's just drag this over one cell and see what we get. Okay, now notice that the $2,000 item has increased by 1, and Excel, that's a problem with Excel. Excel will do that. So in order to get around that, what you should do is, first of all, we'll undo that. Then we will link this to that. And then we'll drag the rest of it over. Okay, and now let's paint this green because it's a variable. All our variables are green. Now we should be able to drag all this over, drag it over one more. Okay, notice everything is fine, everything looks like it should. I'm going to drag the rest of it over to December. Okay, so that's our income statement. Income statement is done all the way through December. Remember, if this implements by 1, if it goes up by 1, iterates by 1, just have to go back and link it, and then you will get the number that you're expecting to get as you drag it across. Okay, so that's the income statement. That's that part of the income statement. Now there are other items that have to be added. Okay, so we have, hold on for a second. Okay, I needed my sheet in order for us to continue, so I'll know what the other items are that we have to add to this. So we have the write-up line. It's write-ups, and the write-ups in February are 1,000. Write that in. Then March it's 2,000. Write that in. In April it's 6,000. Write that in. You notice that the net income is changing as we add items to this. In May, it's 6,000. In June, it's 7,000. In July, it's 7,000. In August, it's 7,000. September, it's 7,000. October, 7,000. November, 8,000. And 8,000. So that's our projected write-up income, and then we also have audit income that starts in July. So that will be 10,000, 10,000, and 10,000. Okay. So that's everything. Now the new variables that we put in, we should paint those green. The variables are green. Don't forget that. Okay. Income statement is done. All right, that's the total income statement. Now the next thing in line to do is the statement of cash flow. And so can we drag this all over? All right, let's see what happens if we do this. If we drag the whole thing over, this last column over, drag it over one block, and it works pretty well except for the fact that we've also dragged purchase of fixed assets over, and we haven't purchased fixed assets in February, so that needs to go away. You'll also notice that we had the same problem with the changing by one that Excel will do sometimes. So this number just really needs to be linked to this. Okay. And after that, it looks like it all works okay. So let's see what happens if we drag this over one more block. Alright, everything looks like it's okay. 463,000 is the number that we're looking for. Again, this is highlighting, this is dragging. Okay. And you can drag that whole thing over. You have $286,000 in cash. Alright, so that's our statement of cash flow. The next item on the agenda is balance sheet. So let's see what happens if we drag highlighting here. And let's see what happens if we drag this over by one. Okay. Well, what's happened? We're out of balance. See, we're out of balance, and you see there's some problems. Some of the formulas aren't working correctly. So we need to make them work correctly before we can continue. And the first thing that's not working correctly is fixed assets. So we need to link this to first month's fixed assets. And that's that. Then the rest of the other problem is that we need not forget that the balance sheet is a cumulative record, meaning that what happens in one month gets added to what happens in the next month. So that hasn't happened here. All we're doing is looking at what's happened in each month. So in order to correct this, we need to add this month to the partner draw for the next month. And that partner draw is 18,000. Okay. So now $36,000 is the total for the draw for the 2 months. Now the same problem with the retained earnings. Retained earnings is also should be cumulative. So that means that this number should be equal to previous month plus net income for this month. And now we're back in balance. Right? So now the formulas should all work. So let's see what happens now. And drag this over, highlight, highlight, and drag. And drag it over 1. Okay, 613, 613, all in balance. Okay, looks like a go. Drag this all the way over. Okay, 286, $286,000 in cash. That's the cash number that we're looking for. Okay. Finally, we have to do the indirect statement of cash flow. And again, the one problem that we have here is the purchase of fixed assets. So let's just drag this over 1, see what happens. We didn't drag everything over. We need to drag the piece over there. Alright, so it looks like it's fine. It looks like because it's fine. It wasn't a problem with this purchase of fixed assets. So because that's why we need to do these in order, because it's looking at what's happened here, and we've already fixed that. So this is the statement of cash flow, indirect statement of cash flow for the month of February. So let's drag this over one more time and make sure that everything is working all right. Everything is balanced. Cash is equal, 463, 463. Okay, and that's the indirect statement of cash flow. Indirect statement of cash flow has now been dragged over and completed, and that's all of the statements. Now, the summary. How do we do the summary? Well, the summary is you're summarizing these 12 months of financial statements. So let's start summarizing the balance sheet. Well, that is equal to this last month. Summary of the balance sheet is this. This is what the summary of the balance sheet is. 12 months, this is the 12 months of the balance sheet. So to summarize it, and everything gets linked, so we link it to that, and then we can just drag this down. And it's done. It's all linked. Everything is linked. See how quickly and easy that was? Okay. So let's go. Don't worry about the lines at the moment. You can put the lines in later. But the summary is the important part. So the summary, this is the summary, and the summary works. Now we go to the income statement. Income statement is different than the balance sheet in that it's not the last month, but it's the total of all of the months. So we have to put a formula in to sum up all of the months. And it's the sum of, we should include everything in here. So even what doesn't have numbers in it, you should include that. Make sure you're on that one line, because all you're doing is summing that one line. Okay, so I messed up. I made a mistake. And I included something else in there, so let's just erase that. And let's do this again. So with equal sum that. Go to the beginning. And make sure that we just include what we want in it. And that's it. Well, just that. Close this. Okay. 66,000 is the number that we're looking for. Now we can just drag this down. Okay. And we can continue dragging this down until we get to net income. So we've just totaled everything across, dragged everything down, and that's our net income. Now we know this is right because the net income, this number here, equals what is in our retained earnings, 48,000. 48,000, 48,000. That's how we know this is correct. Okay. Statement of cash flow. Go to the statement of cash flow. Statement of cash flow is also a total across. Right? So cash from customers, total cash from customers. So how do we get that number? Well, we already have a formula that's in that totals everything across. So all we need to do is copy one of these formulas. So let's go to this formula, do Control C, which is copy. Go to that line, Control V, 120,000. That's the number that we're looking for. Another one of the beauties of Excel. You can copy formulas to another place, and it will look at and be at the right references. And then we drag this down. Okay, now, here's where we have to get smart. Do we have an ending balance of $2,444,000 in cash flow? No, so that number is not right. Do we have beginning balance of $5,516,000? That number is not right. No. Do we have increase or decrease in cash of $286,000? Yes, that number is right. The number that wasn't correct was the beginning balance, and the beginning balance is 0. We started with nothing. So our beginning balance is 0, and our ending balance now will be 0. It will be 286,000. So if I can just copy this formula, because now I'm just adding this up. And there's our 286,000, and we know that's correct because that's what our ending cash is. 286,000 is our ending cash. Here's our ending cash. Indirect statement of cash flow, same thing. We have this formula. Let's go and copy a formula again. You can copy any one of these formulas because they're all totals. So let's do this formula. Control C, copy, and then we go Control V. Our net income is negative 48,000, and we know that's true. So we can drag this down. And again, we have the same problem that we had up above. These numbers are not correct because this number is not correct. Our beginning balance is 0. The ending balance is, copy this formula. That's our ending balance, 286,000. And now the summary is complete. Okay. We can now dress it up, put lines in, go to, where is the line? Right here. And we want to have a single line and a thick bottom border. Top and thick bottom border. That's the one we want. Okay. And we'll do the same for this one. Okay. And then we do the same for this one. And then we do the same for that one. That one already has. And this one too. Alright, so that is in a few easy steps how we complete this spreadsheet. Alright, so this is what I want you to submit to me after you're done. Okay.